LCARA at Hamvention 2023, and we took a few minutes to stop by the Comet booth and talk to Mick Swartnick, president of Comet, and see what all do they have going on. What products do they have for 2023? So let's take a look and see what's going on with Comet.
Alrighty, I'm KY4 BDP Brian. We're here at Hamvention 2023, and we had to come by the Comet booth today because Comet was instrumental in our CAA-500 Mark II giveaway that some of you participated in, and Joe Kraft was the winner. He's over in Texas. We're with Mick today, and
Hi,
Mick is part of the exhibitor for Comet.
And luckily right now we've got a little break in the action.
A little bit of a lull.
For a minute.
No worries. And we just wanted to, again, thanks, Mick, for the analyzer for the giveaway, but also talk a little bit about, we use your antennas frequently.
Good.
In fact, we just erected the GP6 up on my tower down in Tennessee, and it turned out really, really well. Give us an idea of the scope of products that Comet is bringing to Hamvention.
Well, I'm glad that giveaway worked out for you. I saw the video. That works great. It was one of the more entertaining and knowledgeable videos I've ever seen. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. So our company's National Communication Group, we import Daiwa and Comet products. So we're here at Dayton distributing, or just showing everything that we can in this little booth. And we're going to start right here with our Daiwa display. All right, so Daiwa invented the cross-needle SWR power meter, the whole philosophy, about 30 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so since then, the patent ran out, and a lot of people have copied it. That's the way it goes. But they're still the ones who perfected it, and it's still, everybody else tries to make it a little bit cheaper.
Right.
Daiwa still makes it right. So they've got a couple versions here. We're looking on this top display is the 500 series, which is just a little more economical. They're only average reading. They don't have a PEP reading function, but they're about half the price of these higher grade, bigger needles, bigger meters, half-watt increments.
Right.
It's got a mirrored scale, so there's no parallax view. You can see the right reading no matter where you look at it. PEP and average, so everything's built into this little bigger 900 series. And then if you want to save a little money, then the 500 series allows that to happen. So that's Daiwa, and they have a couple two-position switches that they sell. So we're real happy with Daiwa. It's a brand name everybody's familiar with.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's not the real manufacturer. It's not a subsidiary of Daiwa Reels. So the people who hit their brakes when they drive by our building and see the Daiwa logo and come running in to see if they can buy reels, no, we're not that Daiwa.
That's not that Daiwa.
That's not Daiwa. But it's a great product line, and we're happy to represent Daiwa.
Absolutely.
So if you want to just walk through this way a little bit, we're going to go over to our mobile antenna setup. So a lot of these are our shortest little dual banders. You go up from 12 inches to this antenna that's got a rubberized whip. Some guys are just, they go through the same garage all the time, and, and they're like, I'm just tired of it. Just give me a rubberized whip. So that's for them. We've got a couple antennas that have springs built in. We've got this big old Rhino Killer that's called. It'll handle 350 watts.
Really?
Yes. But more important than that, guys who use it for over-the-road trucks or for Harleys or for Goldwings, it's beefy enough to absorb that constant vibration. So you don't really need it for the power, but just for the durability. So that's kind of a niche antenna. And
now
down here,
I use one very much like this one on my truck now.
That's the world famous Comet antenna CA 2x4 SR.
Right.
The SR stands for search and rescue, because back 20 years ago, people said, well, I'm going to be transmitting on the ham bands. I might be on the public service bands. I might be on MERS. There might be some guys that are GMRS radios.
Yep.
I want to be able to talk to all of them well. So Comet designed the search and rescue antenna to fill that broad bandwidth. So whoever you're talking to, whatever you're receiving, it's just the ultimate antenna for that.
And I believe when it came out of the packaging, it didn't have the spring.
Optional.
And I added that, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys, still half the people who buy it are just back and forth to work, driving around town. They don't really need it, it's fine. But when you're going through the whoop-de-doos or going underneath branches, then this little insurance policy to keep it in one piece when you're off-road.
It's really a must, I think.
And it's an option because it'll save you $20 if you don't need it.
And then this one folds down as well, right?
And they all, even that one lifts straight up. and then it'll fold down.
And I have to do this when I'm going through the car wash.
That might even rip it off. I don't know.
I've had good luck so far.
Now, to be honest, about 10 years ago, Comet started coming out with these even bigger antennas, bigger, taller, more gain. And at about 65, 70 miles an hour, the wind of the highway would lift the antenna up and fold it down.
I'll be.
So, I mean, after that first 100 antennas came in, I talked to Comet and said, this is an issue. So they went back to the drawing board, and rather than the spring, they've got a locking collar. So it's a threaded mechanical lock. So you unscrew that, you lift it up, then you pull it
I like
over.
that.
So even at 120 miles an hour, it's not going to pull itself out and fold over by itself. So the Chinese copies and a lot of the other cheapos, they haven't added that $3 improvement because they don't want to spend the $3 to improve it.
Right.
So Comet doesn't have any of that problem. All right, so down here a little bit further, we've got a small selection of dual band and single band and tri-band HT antennas. This is our biggest seller because as the radios got smaller and smaller, you take your handheld, you set on the desk, and the weight of the antenna would plop your radio over.
Yep.
So those dense rubber are kind of gone passe, and Comet uses this unbreakable eyeglass frame style material so that it's just lightweight, flexes, you can sit on it, you can shut the door on it, and it'll return to its normal shape.
And is this a dual band antenna?
It's dual band, 2 meters and 440.
Right.
So that happened about 10, 15 years ago. They moved over to this other material.
And that's the SMA 503J.
No, that's this one.
Oh,
so
that's
the
one
SMA
below it. So this is
24.
the
Yep.
SMA 24.
That's probably, we sell more of those than every other antenna you see there combined. It's just the basic upgrade if you want to improve the range of your handheld.
Right.
And then with all the Chinese ones that came in, with the upside down SMA, that's what the J at the end stands for. It's a jack instead of a pin on
Instead
the
of
antenna.
a pin.
All right, so that's all those. So let's keep moving. Excuse me.
You don't want to get on camera?
No. Oh, Comet has a line of manual antenna tuners. This is the first one we introduced in the U.S., a 300-watt tuner. It's manual. A lot of people still like to turn the knobs. They don't want to just push a button and say tune. And so this, with the manual, you can really dial it in even better than the automatic tuners. So that's a new product, just came out about a year ago, selling well, happy to have it.
Brand new.
And then over here, this is our crowd pleaser. As you can see, there's always a group of people hanging around the analyzer.
I don't blame them because we had a chance to review this unit and we had a lot of fun with it, Mick.
It is.
The needles are for those folks who are into those, but to have that color display and be able to plot.
And the smoothness of how everything reacts together.
And you can tell just by using the knobs how well engineered it is. It gives good tactile feedback.
Right. And that was important. And now, a couple things. When Comet was sitting down to design it, they had a certain customer in mind. Because people always ask, well, can I wind coils with this? Can I do this or that? I go, well, it's really not made for a guy sitting at his desk at his shack trying to wind coils and build an antenna. It's made for a guy up on the roof, hanging off the tower with one arm, trying to adjust an element and trying to, hands-on. So that's why it does what it does. It's made for somebody who's out in the field, up on the ladder, up on the rooftop, trying to fix their antenna and tune in and adjust it. So that's why it does what it does.
Exactly.
They had to focus. You don't want to do a Swiss knife approach like some guys do. Everything for everybody, because you can't do everything well. So let's just do these 2 or 3 things well.
And the other thing I like about it, Nick, is at the price point that it is, I mean, there's a lot of good analyzers out there from various manufacturers.
There are.
But with the LCD, or the color display, I should say, and then the analog needles up the top, you're getting both the best of both worlds. And I remember somebody saying maybe that the needles are probably a little more accurate.
Yes, because the sensors, when they build it, it's expensive to get sensors that are accurate on the analog and the digital graphics. So they sacrificed one to make sure that the analog needles are the most accurate.
The most accurate.
So when they diverge, usually over about 3 to 1, the needles will show like 3 to 1, and the graphic display down here might show 4 to 1. People say, well, which one's accurate? Always the needles are going to be more accurate.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this guy. And again, we're so thankful for the Comet stepping up and helping us do that giveaway.
Well, but look what I got here. I got all this attention. I got the video. So it's a good trade-off. I'm glad it worked out.
Mick, thanks for spending some time with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks,
this is KY4 BDP Brian with Mick here at Comet's booth here at Hamvention 2023 73.
Take care, guys.